So hi guys, it's gonna be a completely different video because we are outside, as you can see, in one of my favorite places in my city from the very beginning. Uh, it's gonna be a little bit unprofessional because I'm gonna use my own hand as a tripod. So yeah, the perspective is probably not the best one, but I wanted to record this video outside due to a few reasons, and I wanted to show you the river because it's going to be about going with the flow. So like flow of water, flow of the river. Yeah. Actually, I was thinking today, all day, I was thinking what I was going to talk about because I felt like called to speak today, to tell you something, but there were so many ideas that I had in my head, but none of them sounded somehow right. I listened to my favorite tarot reader on my way on YouTube. As I told you, it's not about prophecies and so on. It's much deeper. It's highly spiritual and it's highly psychological. And she also talked about a few important things that somehow triggered me to speak about them, but not enough. So I thought like, oh, I will just go with the flow and the topic will appear. I was like, please, my spirit guides, tell me, show me, give me a sign what I should be talking about. And of course the sign came. After my work, I was supposed to teach. I teach English, of course. I teach English and I teach German. I was supposed to teach the son of one of my friends, a teenage boy, because he needs some support at school, and I really enjoy these classes. And when I was on my way home, my friend, his mother called me that he's kind of ill, looks like flu or something like that. And since there are quite a few people in our region, in our area, in our city who are ill, this is why I was actually all alone in my department at work today, because most of my colleagues are ill. I was like, okay, so I think it's better when he stays home, and I'm gonna have an evening off. And I can tell you, I've been teaching for many years. I started teaching when I was like 16, because at that time I thought I was skilled enough and able enough. I guess I was quite a good teacher, but of course my skills have developed since that time. Anyway, when I was younger and somebody called off my classes, I was furious. I was disappointed. I immediately thought about the money I lost, because of course I needed that money very much. And instead of accepting the reality and going with the flow, I was either trying to force people to come, or I was just producing this negative energy. Yes, of course, not going with the flow has its consequences, even in such stupid things like teaching, because if somebody who was really ill came to me, I got infected and then I was ill, and then I had to call off a lot of classes and I lost much more money. But you need to learn to go with the flow. So going with the flow, maybe I will. Yeah, it's the sunset. This is why I was thinking about coming here. I love sunsets, so it's just an off top, and it's one of the places where I enjoyed sunsets since the very beginning, as I said. So going with the flow, it's hard. A lot of people tell you, coaches, yogis, yoginis, spiritual mentors, psychologists tell you, I don't know if psychologists do that, probably they do. They tell you to go with the flow. But our society looks a bit different. We are kind of taught, we are programmed from the very beginning to control everything we can. And this is what we strive for, this is what we try. We always try to control the outcome, we always try to control the process. We try to control everything. And when we lose control, we feel lost. Yeah, isn't it funny that we say lose control, lost? Anyway, yes, we try to control everything in our life, and when anything goes like unexpected. We get frustrated, we get stressed, we get dissatisfied. Yes, and the point is, of course, I'm not saying that if you're a project manager, you should go with the flow and work with everything and stop controlling it or something like that. Of course, we always need to find balance. Balance is very important, but in our lives, we should trust a bit. We should trust a bit. Yeah, it depends on what do you believe in. We should try. You can trust in God. You can trust in the universe. You can trust in the energy, spirit, and so on. But sometimes we really need to put a little bit trust in what is happening around us, and go with the flow. Believe in our intuition. Yes, in some synchronicities and so on. And actually, of course, yeah, I heard it thousands of times from my family, friends, like mentors, and so on. I grew up in a very spiritual, I wouldn't say even maybe family, because like my genetic family, some of those guys were spiritual, some of them were not. I guess my grandfather, probably you will listen, you will hear about him from me quite a few times. He was the most spiritual person I have ever met, or one of the most spiritual people. Oh look, some guys are going with the flow on the river. Yes, so we're gonna hear some voices in the background probably, because they are talking, but that's fine. It's nice that people enjoy their lives. Yeah, water always brings life and good energy. Anyway, I grew up in quite a spiritual circles, partially of my family, friends, my father's friends, and so on. And I was taught as a kid. I was taught to meditate, to believe in the energy, to go with the flow, not to control everything myself. And then I changed. Then I adjusted to the society, to the things I was taught to. I don't know what happened, but it was like that, and I tried to control everything. I had a fixed plan for my life, and I was trying to stick to this plan. Oh my God, there are mosquitoes already. It's still winter and we have mosquitoes. Anyway, yeah, I was quite successful at my work, in my job, in my professional life, but not as successful as I wanted. And there were a lot of things, a lot of situations that showed me that that I really was supposed to change that way, that it wasn't working. But I got fixed. I got stuck to that plan, and I wanted to control the outcome. And even everything was showing me that it's not gonna work. I still pushed. I pushed all the time, and it was more and more difficult. I was more and more frustrated, and at some point, there were some situations that changed that all. That changed my career. That changed my life, and this is why I'm here. For those of you who don't know, I was born somewhere else. I was born. Now I should explain. Now I live in north of Germany, and I was born in the region that before the Second World War was Germany. Yes, it used to be Germany. After the war, it's not Germany any longer. So it's 800 kilometers away from here, in another country, and a lot of funny situations, synchronicities, and so on. Sometimes I make fun. I say that one Mel, or actually Neue Deutsche had a band, brought me here, which is actually true. Because as a kid and as a teenager, I really fell for that band. I was a big fan of that group, and I went to many concerts and so on. Then, as I said, when I started my highly professional life, I stopped living. That was the point. I only worked. All my life revolved around my work, around the projects from work, work. Nothing else. No private life, no vacation, nothing. For many years. So I stopped going to concerts and so on. And then at some point, that band, after many years of a break, they played a concert in my former country. Not in my region, just the country where it is now. And I was like, okay, if they are coming, I can go to that concert. So I did, and I met those guys, and I talked to, at least two, to three of them, to three of the band members, and one of them asked me, "What the hell have you been doing in the recent years?" And I was like, working. And then I talked more to one of those guys who kind of inspired me to come here. Because, as I worked at the university, of course, we cooperated with our universities also in Germany, but not in this region. And for many years, I had been thinking of moving to Germany. I had been really thinking, but I had never thought that I would come here to this place, to Braunschweig. I was thinking like about Berlin or something like that. And that guy kind of pushed me. He said, "Please come here. Look what it's like here again." Because I didn't visit Braunschweig as this music fan, but I was quite nearby. And I decided to have my first holiday, my first vacation after so many years, and I came here quite a few years ago. So such a stupid synchronicity. And I really fell for this place. I came here. I got out of the train because I even decided not to come with my car. I decided to have a real vacation with trains and things like that. I came here, I looked around, and I said, I'm home. Yeah, so during my first trip, actually, the place we are sitting now in was one of the first places I spent quite a lot of time in. I came here regularly, so all my life I've been connected to water. Even though if you believe in astrology and such things, I'm a Taurus, so I'm an earth sign, but I have always been really connected to water signs. It's another story. So and I love water. I love swimming, diving, sailing, and so on. So I've spent all my life by the water, no matter if it was a river or a lake or a sea or the ocean or something like that. So of course my first drive here was to spend as much time as possible by the water. And during my first day here, I didn't even discover the lakes, or maybe one of them. I spent all the time by the river, exactly in this place and a few other corners. And something told me to come here all the time. I didn't know what that was. Now I know. I'm not going to tell you, actually, not yet, why this particular corner, why this particular place, but I spent a lot of hours here. And then I fell for the city so much that I started coming here more and more regularly. I started connecting my professional work with this region, with this area, with Hanover, which is a big city nearby. And the universe was showing me then more and more frequently that I should change my job, I should change my career path, I should change my place, because the situation at my work, I hope YouTube is not going to ban me, sucked. It really sucked. But I was still fighting because I wanted to keep the control. I had my plan, I had my vision, so I kept on fighting till it was really bad, till it was like an earthquake what happened. And then I finally understood, or kind of understood, and I quit my job. I came here. 24 hours later I was here in this place, and I started organizing my life here. It's a long story because it's been quite a few years, So yeah, there were a lot of situations in the meantime, and I can tell you one thing: every time I went with the flow, it worked. It really worked. Every time I was trying to fight, I was trying to control everything, I was trying to stick to my vision, it didn't work at all. So I stopped, I hope. To a large extent, I stopped fighting. I started going with the flow and believing a little bit in the universe, in the energy around me, trying to tune in this energy. And this is actually what I was going to tell you. Stop fighting. Stop fighting, because it's like the current. It's like the current or the stream in the sea or in the ocean. You know the situation when you go to swim, when you go for a swim, and suddenly you realize that that current is dragging you somewhere else. Usually it's unfortunately not the direction of the shore, but just the opposite. If you start fighting, if you start really fighting like hell, you're gonna get tired, you're gonna get exhausted, and you're gonna drown. If you start flowing, if you start like swimming with this flow and get into the curve when it is possible to get out of it, then you have a chance, and that's the point. And we try to control everything, and control, unfortunately, very often means also manipulation. We try to manipulate. Okay, I'm saying we, like generic we, people. Yes, but actually, most of us, I guess all of us from time to time do it, or used to do it. So because you want to achieve something, no matter if it's your job, a new position, or a relationship. If you start really controlling the outcome, the process, and in worst cases the other person, it's gonna crash. It's not gonna work. If you manipulate the other person, it's the worst thing you can do. I know that somebody will tell me, but I really love that person. Yes, I want to be with him, I want to be with her, with them. But do not manipulate. How would you feel if you discovered that somebody manipulated you? Most of us probably discovered, and it wasn't anything nice. It wasn't anything we would accept. In such situations, we feel betrayed, or even like cheated on. So the only solution is to trust a little bit, and really go with the flow. Stop fighting. Go with this river. Oh, we have some geese. They do not fight. If it is really windy, if we have a storm, have you ever seen any birds trying to fly? Okay, maybe some pigeons, but they are crazy. City pigeons, they learned everything from us, from people, because we took over their places, and those poor guys started eating bread and, fighting with the flow instead of going with it. Just a stupid joke. I know that people who love pigeons are going to kill me now, probably. So going with the flow. If I were that kind of person I used to be some years ago, today I would be furious, not to use worse words, that somebody called off my classes and I'm not going to to teach that guy, and he's gonna get a bad grade, and I'm not gonna earn my money, and so on. But because he called off, or his mom called off, I was able to come here, and I was able to speak to you, and I was able to watch the sunset. It's still really beautiful. I'm gonna take a few pictures, because as you know me, I take pictures all the time. I am a hobby photographer, and I post like crazy, and I love sky, I love colors, I love clouds. So I'm gonna take a few pictures, because I decided not to fight. So probably I was going to tell you more, but it's going it's getting a little bit lengthy, this video, but I really wanted to tell you, stop fighting. Stop fighting. Because when you focus on fighting, when you concentrate on fighting, you don't see other chances, you don't see signs, you don't see synchronicities, you don't see all the possibilities that are around if you just decide, to calm down. I will tell you one more story. It was like that when I was like fighting for my jobs, trying to stay somewhere and so on. It wasn't only that job in the previous country I used to live in. It was also here. Yeah, when I was really like getting crazy about that, the outcomes were poor. And when I started going with the flow, believing in people, in their intentions and so on, everything has changed. Everything has changed, and I kind of reconnected with people who are very important to me and who were this positive trigger for my change, only because I went with the flow. But I think it's something for the next videos. I'm not going to tell you everything now. So generally speaking, stop fighting, enjoy your life, enjoy the sunsets. Sunsets are beautiful, sunrises are beautiful too. So I think that's it. It was nice talking to you. We're gonna see each other in the following videos. Have fun, guys. Bye.